I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise, and they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, you know, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today.
People from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that, that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour, because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been, the record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists.
What's some of the hardest part in dealing with the business, in coming to grips on certain things that you didn't understand when you was 20 years old?
To me, I would say publishing, and we didn't know about it.
Yeah, we didn't know shit about the business. We were just some creative guys that got together and did something amazing. But once we started understanding the business, you know, that's when we started realizing how much bullshit comes along with it. And for me personally, the hardest part was probably separating myself from the bullshit. You know what I mean? Having to stand up for myself and separate myself from the bullshit.
When a pimp meets a girl, he puts her into a coat and some bathing suit and some pumps, makes her look good. When a label meets an artist, they give them a budget. They choose them and they say, I think you can make me money.
A lot of these artists, you know, I was one of them. We get to a certain point of our career where we start crying and complaining about not getting royalties, not getting this because we signed a bad contract or this or that.
As rap artists, as any type of musicians, you know what I'm saying? We pay for our recording to be done. We pay for our promotion to be done. We paid for the tours. We pay for the tour bus. We pay for the people who operate the equipment. We pay for everything. And we still don't get an even split from the record company.
360, whole 360 degrees of your ass, pause, away, just because of a trick. And now you got to ask a person, or you have to say things like, the label lets me do this and that. I sign you, I own you. I don't do that. The mentality doesn't sound right. People accepting that doesn't sound right. People being proud of that doesn't sound right. It's aggravating. Every single thing I was saying 10 years ago, I'm saying it now. But just everyone thought I was crazy 10 years ago.
Before, when I told my father I wanted to rap, he was very leery of that idea. He said, I heard this business is terrible. And, you know, he's right. The contracts are made to rape the artist, not just for me, but for all artists. It's not about me getting my masters back. It's about freedom.
So they tell you, you make a song, I write a song, and I rap the song, I record the song. So once I release the song, there is what's called a master and a publishing portion of the record. So the master is the recording of it. So if I sign a record deal or a recording deal, I sign away my masters, which means the label owns the recording of that music. None of that shit makes any sense, right? That shit didn't make any sense to you?
What the fuck is going on, man? I told Def Jam that I wanted to release my shit as a 2-pack, and I just found out that they're releasing it as 2 singles at the same time. Oh, don't drop your music video early, because if you do, you might upset our partners who feel... I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I care about my fans, man. I care about hip-hop. I care about music. Years ago, I was playing that game. Don't do this. Release this on this shit. All for the bread and the money and trying to be fucking extra. And I don't give a fuck about none of that. Everybody in that building who is really there for me, I love you. Thank you so much. Everybody else can eat a dick.
If you're an artist and you're trying to work with anyone in the industry, understand that you cannot trust anyone.
That's pretty much all I knew. It was a such thing as a distribution deal. I ain't know what that shit entailed. I ain't know what that shit
You probably just thought every record deal is the same record deal.
But it's generating all this money, but how am I still not recouping? And then I figured out the type of deal that I was in.
I want artists to really pay attention to this. 3 million streams, like with all the music, 3 million streams a day. Off 1 million streams, an artist gets $5,000 to $6,000 every other Friday. So that means that when I wasn't dropping and I was at home, some label was sitting on their ass collecting $15,000 a day off of Tory Lanez music.
Y'all talking about drop something, at least I'm trying to drop something. I've been trying to drop something. Bro, this is my life now. All I can do is make music. You ain't supposed to sign no motherfucking paper in the streets, because that's ratting. So why the fuck I even sign this shit as a deal? Motherfucker set myself up. What other way I was supposed to let this shit go?
They're not going to exist much longer.